Hey everyone, this is Mental Health is True Wealth. I'm your favorite autonomy coach, AB, aka the neighborhood mental health plug, aka your mental health personal trainer. So let's begin the session. In honor of Pride Month, I want to present two different topics. One, coming out. Two, struggling with your sexual orientation. Pride is not just about parades and parties. There is a true meaning behind pride. And I feel like it's important to illustrate that throughout this month. There is an older generation that has struggled and paved the way for you and I to live our future. And it's only out of honor and respect that we do some of the work. And we discuss some very difficult topics that are taking place within our community because they allowed us to live our truth, right? It would be a disservice not to address the movement or address the people who are suffering alone in silence, because we have people in our community that are struggling in silence. Coming out can be a very difficult phase in someone's life, especially coming out early in life. As I've previously told y'all, I came out at the age of 14. I told y'all my horror story. Watch the video if you want to hear it. However, before we come out, we have to discuss the phase of figuring out who you are to even come out. That basically means we are trying to figure out what our attraction means, what our feelings mean. What does all of this play? How does all of this play a role in my particular life? And it is another very difficult and confusing time in our life. Part of you want to conform to social norms because you're very much aware of the battle that is ahead of you. However, life is short and you want to live your truth. And so we move forward with that. Please catch the video that is connection with this one that deals with struggling with your sexual orientation. So coming out is scary. I know people who are late in life and they still haven't come out due to the various fears of rejection or abandonment, and that is okay. You are allowed to run your race at your own pace, period. Don't let nobody make you feel otherwise. However, let's discuss the consequences of coming out. You may or may not have any. You may be lucky and have Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union as your parents, and you may not. You might have friends that are amazing and super supportive and just accept you, and you may not. These are for the people who don't have that. You have to be strong when coming out, and you need a support system. I don't care how strong you are, you could be Superman. But without that support system in place, it's going to be a very bumpy road. Worse than 75. I always compare that to, everybody know in Atlanta, the roads is horrible. And that's what your life gonna be like. So prepare for it. I remember while working at this homeless shelter, I met this kid, right? And I've previously told y'all the story, so I won't go in depth. But he was like 15, 16 years old, and he was staying at a homeless shelter. And me, if I'm curious, I just ask you. I'm not gonna be nosy in the closet. I'm just gonna get to the point. I am. I want the details and I want it from the horse's mouth. So I just asked him, I was like, why are you in a homeless shelter? And he informed me his parents kicked him out the house because he is gay and he contracted HIV with his first sexual partner. And I felt so bad for him, so I brought him home. His story is not unique. There are other people out there who have similar stories. The trauma of not being accepted by your family can be detrimental to your mental health and the autonomy of the individual coming out. Hell, your friends not being supportive can be detrimental. You've had friends that you've known since elementary and you tell them and they turn their back on you. It's a difficult time. And I know people are going to watch this video and they're going to be like, oh, it's 2023. Y'all are so accepted now. In doses. We are accepted in doses. And we have every right to be fully accepted or fully respected. Because I'm not even going to put an emphasis on it, accepted, but just respect it. That's all you got to do is respect me. That's it. So I was watching this documentary that was called The L Word, Mississippi. It's on Amazon. Y'all catch it. And I thought it was going to be like all the other L words where they showed us like super hypersexual and impulsive and provocative, but it didn't. And it was very powerful. It was addressing people who were struggling with their sexual orientations and the pains of coming out the closet and living their own truth. It actually sparked the reason for this podcast. The L word was discussing how difficult life can be, especially in rural areas. So, if you live in Atlanta like me, people call this the gay Mecca. Everyone's free and, for the most part, accepted. And then you have places like Hattiesburg, Mississippi, who doesn't realize that we are now not in 1950. What do you know? So one lady on the show had not spoken with her mother in over 3 years. She came out the closet and her mother was like, nope, I'm not talking to you due to my religious beliefs. And it was so confusing because if the concept is to bring sinners, not calling out that, I'm just saying their logic. If their concept is to bring sinners in the Church of Christ, how do you do that with the principle of spewing hate? Hate is not a reflection of Jesus. It's not. So the bond between a parent and a child is an extremely precious one. And I can understand how that would create fear. I can understand it. I loved my mom. I was very close to her. I loved my dad. And those relationships were very important to me. There was this one episode on Pose about coming out. I hope y'all all saw Pose too. Y'all better make them things do numbers, baby. But anyways, there's this one episode on Pose about coming out, and I loved how raw and emotional Pose made the coming out scene, because I felt like it adequately represented what some of us go through. Please, parents, if your child decides to come out to you, take a second, take a breath, and then decide to go seek knowledge before you allow some of the ignorant comments that come out of your mouth. Please, that's all I'm asking, is for you to take just 1 second, because your comment is going to affect your child. So just take a second. Your child coming out gay is not a representation of your poor parenting skills. It's not about you. It has nothing to do with you. So please stop making it about you. Crazy story, right? I remember this guy, gang member, tatted up, everything. He in the car crying profusely. Mind you, my guy just got back for doing a bit of manslaughter. He has a son that overall he has been active in his life and being a present parent. So his child's mother didn't inform him that his child was gay. She knew for a long time. And then he was disturbed by the fact that his child was gay. So I see this guy, big tough gang member, and he's crying profusely. And it was so strange to see this guy cry. So again, I like to ask questions. I'm going to just ask the horse directly, what's going on? He's like, man, my son gay. And so I started to ask him questions about his son. Is your son in college? Yeah. Has he ever been arrested? No. And he made this comment over and over again about how he was confused that his son could be gay when he had a father figure in his life. And he felt like he had failed him. So I started to ask him questions. Is your son involved in a gang? No. Has your son ever been to prison? No. Where do you feel like you failed? Please, just I'd be a little lost. You'll see I got glasses, so sometimes I need someone to help me see. So I'm like, please point to the failure so I can understand how you failed as a parent. I said, your son didn't get involved in gangs. He graduated high school, and he is the first in your family, first generation, to attend college. Where is the failure? You have a productive member of society. As parents, that's all we should want, for our child to be healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically, and to be productive members of society. What else could you want from your child? But this guy was so embarrassed that his child was gay that he was bringing up his street cred and essentially how he would have rathered that his son followed his footsteps versus being gay. And I realized then we were lost. We are lost. When you start making comments like that, we are lost. And this is not a thing just for Black people or white people or Asian people. Every culture has this concept, and everyone is suffering. Everyone is suffering. If you watch The Ultimatum, Queer Love, you see Aussie on there struggling. So this isn't a thing that is only affecting one type of or one group of people. It's not. Coming out is not easy, and it will bring about a wide variety of emotions. However, you need assistance to navigate those emotions. So please don't shy away from seeking help. There's no reason for you to suffer alone, literally. This is why my LGBTQIA professional society is so important. We have to stand up and help the younger generations. It's cool. We have parties, events, we chilling. For a moment, they get to sit all those problems down. But guess what? Soon as that club closed at 2 a.m., the problems is right there for them to pick them up. It's just like a child. You go out club and you drop it off at the babysitter. You got to go back and pick it up. It's the same way. It's the same exact way. So that's why we have to do the work, and we have to start having discussions about mental health and how it is affecting people. So I feel like there are some rules of coming out gay. One, and please give me your feedback. Give me your feedback. If you have any additional ideas, concepts, rules, throw them at me. But one, do not allow someone to pressure you into coming out before you're ready. Don't do it. Two, don't allow your significant other to pressure you into coming out. Now, significant other, this is a message for you. You have every right to not be in a relationship with the person that is in the closet if you are outliving your truth, and that is a decision you have made. But you have to understand it's okay to let go. Don't try to emotionally manipulate them into coming out the closet, because that's going to later on present as resentment when they start dealing with the consequences that they weren't ready for. Okay? 3, it's never cool outing someone. I don't care what they did. Honestly, they could have talked about your mama. Anything. It is not okay to out someone. That is their story to share, and allow them to share it on their own will in their own time. It's not for you to tell. 4, don't wait for the right time to come out. There's never going to be a right time to come out. Just prepare yourself mentally and make sure you are ready mentally to deal with the consequences if there are any. 5, ensure you have a support system. And I ain't talking about the support system you had before you came out, because you don't know how them folks gonna respond. I'm talking about people that you have already came out the closet to, and that you're living your truth with, and they love and accept you for who you are. That is your support system as you start to navigate coming out, because some people gonna rock with you, some people gonna fall off. But guess what? You ain't really need them in the first place. I'm just telling you, you didn't need them. 6, do not internalize the hate you may or may not hear. Some people are going to have some ignorant comments. They're going to have some hateful comments. They're going to be verbally abusive. Don't internalize that shit. Throw it away. Throw it away. Just remember that all of these comments are made out of ignorance. 7, once you come out and you are met with hatred and toxicity, remember that you have no obligation to keep these people. None. If there's a process that they need to get over, that is fine. Work through your process. But But what you're not going to do is abuse me while you go through your process. So when you choose to come back and want to respect me and love me for me, then please do so. Until then, go ahead and see the door. You have every right to protect your mental health and protect your peace. You're not obligated to keep those people. I don't care what title they have in your life. You are not obligated to keep people who don't love you. So coming out is serious, and it should not be taken lightly. I pray peace finds every single one of you that are watching my video in whatever season you might be in your life. If you are interested in joining as a mentor or mentee to the LGBTQIA Professional Society, please, I'm going to place my contact at the end of the video. Shoot me an email. If you are suicidal or engaging in self-harm, trying to cope with you coming out the closet, I am going to place some resources at the end of this video. Do not hesitate to contact someone. There's no reason to suffer alone. There's no reason. Happy Pride Month. And remember, Pride is more than just cool parties and having fun. I'm not saying I have fun. I be turned up Piedmont Park Sundays. What you talking about? I'm not saying not have fun. What I'm saying is, remember that Pride is just more than parties. It's about taking care of the community. So what have you done for the community?